COVID-19 guidelines to protect employees, customers, and our community. Urge employers to check employees and customers with a non-contact head thermometer on arrival to a business place. It's mandatory that employees wear a face mask when at work and in the presence of others. No customers will be permitted to enter an establishment without a face mask. Encourage both employees and customers to wash their hands with soap and water or sanitize their hands with an alcohol-based hand sanitizer of at least 60% alcohol when entering a building, after interacting with customers, and throughout the day. Remember to maintain 6 feet physical and social distancing. Consider installing barriers such as sneeze guards or partitions in high traffic areas to limit close contact between employees and customers. Clean and disinfect highly touched surfaces such as doorknobs, telephones, cash registers, bathrooms, tables and countertops regularly throughout the day. Offer e-commerce services or curbside pickup options wherever possible. Encourage good hygiene practices among staff and customers by posting signs and posters in the business place. For more information and tips to consider, visit www.covid19.gov.kn.
In case you don't know us, you're just twisting the dial away and managed to bump into us. This is ZIZ Radio from Adam St. Kitts.
One for the ages. With funerals getting big, the church is too small. Some who came to sympathize don't know the dead at all. But it's part of our culture to send a brother home to go 6 feet under by himself alone. Joy coming in the morning is what they believe. They go benefit something once that brother leave. So they put on the jacket and tie, put a little water in the eye, then go to the church and cemetery to say goodbye. Oh my, I wonder why we so bad and lie. And in the church they sing, oh, with the one. While the coffin is closing, oh, with the one. The eulogy does make you want to cry when you hear the nice things they're saying about him. You wouldn't believe if brother died from starvation. They give him nothing to eat, but they buy him a reed. And as the coffin go down, they raise up their voice and singing along. Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee. They undermine the deceased, and now that he gone, if you hear them, may his soul rest in eternal peace. They're too bad. I feel to call some of them names. Like to turn up to your funeral after doing you so much wrong. Then the bacchanal start, family start to fuss, fighting for what's left behind. If you hear them cuss, they never used to feed him, never wash his clothes. The struggles that he went through, not one of them knows. Like a tax collector, they came for their share, They're flying from all over, pretending to care. But when the funeral home bring the bill, and they realized there was no will, the undertaker, my friend, today waiting still, until he now threatening them at will. But in the church they sing,
Open the
while the coffin is closing.
Open
The eulogy does make you want to cry when you hear the nice things they're saying about him. You wouldn't believe he would have died from starvation. They give him nothing to eat, but they buy him a weed. And as the coffin go down, they raise up their voice and singing along.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee.
They undermine the deceased, and now that he gone, if you hear them, may his soul rest in eternal peace. They're too bad. Oh yes, I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You'll see it at every funeral. We have become so hostile, we speak ill of the dead. Though they can't respond no more, we still treat them dread. We spread propaganda to tarnish their name. The things that we utter does make me feel shame. How we get so hateful, I keep wondering. Some say we just spiteful and undermining. They don't care if you're dead or alive. They don't want to see you strive. But turn up to your funeral, where some even cry, then lie. But even then they're not satisfied. But in the church they sing,
Open the
while the coffin is closing.
Open
The eulogy does make you want to cry when you hear the nice things they're saying about him. You wouldn't believe he would have died from starvation. They give him nothing to eat, but they buy him a weed. And as the coffin go down, they raise up their voice and singing along.
Then sings my soul, my Savior God to thee.
They undermine the deceased, and now that he gone, if you hear them, may his soul rest in eternal peace. Oh Lord, oh fella, struggle all the way through life, no help from nobody, but he gone, and it's all kind of niceness. I feel to call the name in truth.
welcome to a brand new edition of Frank and Candid for a brand new week. Good looking Monday. Hope you had a great weekend and ready to go to be productive in this week. Let me first apologize for the late start here, which had really beyond the control of ZIZ. So here we go. Let's go to the news. Pope Francis has launched what some describe as the most ambitious attempt at Catholic reform for 60 years. A 2-year process to consult every Catholic parish around the world on the future direction of the Church. This began at the Vatican over the weekend. Some Catholics hope it will lead to change on issues such as women's ordination, married priests, and same-sex relationships. Others fear it will determine the principles of the Church, or maybe undermine what principles the Church has. They say a focus on reform could also distract from issues facing the Church, such as corruption and dwindling attendance levels. Pope Francis urged Catholics not to remain barricaded in our certainties, but to listen to one another as he launched a process at Mass in St. Peter's Basilica. All right. This morning, we are going to have a discussion that is a discussion about our culture and all things related to. And whenever we discuss the ideas, the arts, the customs, and social behavior of our people or society, we're really discussing the culture of St. Kitts and Nevis, culture of the Caribbean. And we use the term Caribbean culture and St. Kitts culture, Nevis culture, as a way of summarizing various elements, including the, like I said, the artistic, the musical, the dance, literary, the food, the political, and social, all of which are representative of our people wherever they are all over the world. And our culture has historically been influenced by the West African traditions of the slave population brought in during the colonial period. So, in studio with me, who else is best to talk about culture than the Doctor of Culture himself, Mr. Zach Nisbet. And yes, Zach Nisbet is in studio with me. All right? Despite all what you've heard, he is in studio, live and well. So let me say good morning to Zach.
A pleasant good morning.
Good to see you, live and well.
A pleasant good morning to you and to all listening my voice throughout the entire world, throughout the entire region. And welcome back from the resurrection. And as Audie Murphy had a film there, it said his film was he had a film there and I forgot the name from something or the other. Mm-hmm. But the thing is that I am truly delighted to be here this morning and to denounce the misconceptions and the things that created a stir throughout the entire, not only St. Kitts, but throughout the entire world. I can tell you. It's about a week now since this has been happening. Just a week before Sunday night, my neighbor, Miss Etty, said to me, there was a gentleman who came up the road and said that, I heard that Mr. Nisbet, Mr. Zach Nisbet, died in his home. They found him dead in his house. Everything is far from the truth. Well, that I thought was a little joke. I took it lightly because I've been home preparing for exhibitions and some people were coming through and everything. Still more vibrant in the schools than anything else because, as you know, this year is our 50th anniversary. And I discussed with Sir Troy the other day, recently, about how to bring about a better carnival, and so we were speaking about that. And the next morning, it was the Monday morning, I was getting prepared maybe to go to some school in the country, and lo and behold, I see the amount of vehicles coming in the gate, by my gate, saying that they heard that they found me dead inside the house. And not only that, but 2 days had passed, so there was a stench and they had to bury me instantaneously because they couldn't keep me. I mean, the name of the movie is To Hell and Back. Yeah, so I decided. And let me tell you something. It was so disheartening. People start calling from all over. I can recall Mr. Al Barker, a dear friend of mine, who was also president of the Rotary Club, said that people called him from England, that sort of thing, and he called back to make sure that everything was okay, so he had to explain to them, nothing go like that. Then on top of that, Arthur Jeffers, he works on the building side of me there, and he had his phone up, telling me, look at these people on the phone, they're calling from the States, and Arthur actually telling them, look, the man right in front of me, look him right here. So he asked me to speak to them. May well done the next set call in. And the calls kept coming. I thought it was a joke, but this thing was getting so serious. When you look at Gary Foods and Flowers came up there, and then my sister Alet's son came and he brought, my phone was a problem, because I spoke to my brother the day before here, and all over the world, and everything, when it's an iPhone he sent. But he gave my sister a new phone. I asked her to know. She came, she sent the son with it. So the whole passage full up with vehicles, everybody coming to see this dead man. To see if they, to pay their condolences and that kind of thing.
We're glad that all was a hoax. So we're happy to see you.
But to that quickly,
yes.
I've been to the schools, and the response out there has been overwhelming. In fact, when I went down to St. Paul's School the other morning, the children actually come down to the gate, Mr. Nisbet, how they say you're dead, and so many other stories, went up, and they were glad and everything to see. Okay. So all these things, I'm glad that I'm here.
So are we.
And to let them know that nothing had happened to me, nothing, absolutely no sickness, nothing. I'm in good health. I've been out there in the schools preparing children up to Thursday, Friday, from school to school, Molyneux to Lodge to Newtown.
Let's talk about that then.
Yeah.
We are heading towards our 50th anniversary, and as per usual, our culture is in focus during Carnival time, during December time. Well, unfortunately, I hope it is. We get that more than just then, but as it is, it's in focus during Carnival, and this is our 50th anniversary. And I know you've been working with the schools to keep our culture alive there. How is the plan? How are the plans going for that?
Okay, this year is our 50th anniversary, and I'm speaking for the entire group because I'm the one out there pushing things. And some of the schools needed sponsorship. And as you're aware, we had the Molyneux School in particular. We focused, I focused on the corporate citizens. And I thought that rather than putting all this strain on the cultural department, which is overburdened, I went into Mr. Freights and Sons. Because there were some people in the community and they were saying, oh, he not give enough to the... But Mr. Freights instantaneously sponsored the entire school, all the banners, the clothing, everything. He signed the checks and sponsored the school. We had a television coverage. The Ministry of Education was there. Mr. Morris, I think it was, he was the deputy chief. And we had a little ceremony. ZIZ came in the morning instantly, and they did a fine job. They showed it back. But so we want to thank Mr. Freights for coming on board. Then we said we had to get in there. we went down to Deep Bay. There's a gentleman by the name of Mr. Leroy Bailey. I personally went over to his house in Frigate Bay. But at the same time, his mother was sick. She was in the home. And he had to contend with that. But over the years, Mr. Bailey has contributed to the development of Deep Bay, not only in little things, but anything Deep Bay wanted. Because I've been a part of that for years, in the transition from the old school to the new school, been very interesting. And some of the great performers like Craig Maynard, who is a medical doctor, Deidre Daniel, her masters, Jeffrey and Jenny and James, all those persons came out from my hand. And they always call me to thank me for building their whole moral esteem and so. But Mr. Bailey, this year, he just buried his mother and other things, and he wanted. So I'm seeking other sponsors, because you wouldn't believe that all of the clothes, they are doing the Red Cross Regimental. This is a new thing. They had that in Nevis under Annie Mills, where you have the nurses with the crosses on the hats and the thing. And surprisingly, you wouldn't believe, all of the clothes, presume, have already been made. This lady up at St. Peter's, Miss Bonaparte, she made them just like how the old-time nurses and so were dressed, and the soldiers of Calvary, they had the songs, the red, white and blue and that sort of thing. I'm teaching them that. In fact, we gave them a drum, kettle drum and a bass drum. And one of the problems we had was, when you give, we normally use the grade 2, because when you grade 5 and 6 going out the school, you always build it from inside. And what we find is that the younger ones, they can't even lift up some of the drums. So I insisted that we don't want the grade 6 going out instantly, right away. We want build it from the grade 5. They are much stronger. They will learn the drumming. So when we're going out something, we ask them to come with us, the drummers, so they could get into it. Because David is an experienced drummer. Well, that school, I'm seeking sponsorship presently for them, and I'm going to get it to cover some of the costs, because the making of the clothes, yes, but the cloth, they had all the cloth and everything. They have the drums ready to go. Because of the little COVID thing now and so, but next week going in there and so. We also have the St. Paul's. St. Paul's is interesting. Is interesting because the teacher there, Miss Rollins, very nice lady. From the time I read, she said, go up in the hall, get the grade 2, go over there, Mr. Nisbet. I gave them the skits. She went and she photocopied the skits instantaneously. So every single body must learn the skit, because if somebody's sick, you have to fill the part. Because you learn over the years, because if they are complacent and they don't want to party, they don't have that zest, then you leave them out. You want people in there who has the enthusiasm and the build and the readiness to go. And this year, for the first time, I'm saying it for the first time, we have girls who will be playing bull. Serious, we have a girl dancing the bull. I've already made the horn, the tail. We practiced up to last week. The one who's acting the Arthur Davis is a girl. They know the parts.
So the doctor is a girl? The
doctor is a girl too.
Okay.
This is the serious, is the first, because I sort of, and you know, a little innovation. Because the same thing with the men. And they are moving good, they're dancing good. Trust me, the coordination is there, the cohesiveness in there. So I'm trying to seek some little sponsorship for them. I have the cloth already. I purposely sought out the cloth for them for my own little resources. So they have all the cloth, and we're getting this stuff for them. And we're asking anybody out there who really want to contribute to build that. I'll be seeking some sponsorship. I'll be asking. I have 1 or 2 persons in mind during the course of the week. But they're looking good, and the first time you're going to see woman bull, woman doctor, woman that, and that sort of thing.
Well, let me ask you this. I know we are accustomed to see these traditional folklore and performances in the communities.
That is
are we getting that this year?
Listen to me. Up to Saturday gone, we were going out with the mummies. Lord School have a mummies group. They're second to none.
Okay.
This is no joke. In the Christmas, I can recall one day we made $900. Each of the children went home with $100. One girl in particular who is good, Kavisia Foy, she went home with $120 plus 85. But people give her the little quarter, 20 and 5. And the rest of them get their own little tips. This is the seriousness of this whole thing. We want to go through St. Peter's last week, but 2 of the children were a little sick. So we're going this week, sending the message out throughout the whole, building the community spiritedness and giving them a chance to make their own little change. Because trust me, they're good. Some of them, as they go up to the high schools, you replace them. We have girls coming on board, they done fitting, they have the pads and everything. This week when I go over there, I don't build a certain standard.
Where did you start from?
We normally in the grade 2.
Grade 2.
Grade 2. Because last year, we had a little boy in kindergarten who played the bull for Can. And I was not satisfied with his performance. Because I like perfection. Me making no joke no. When you say I got there, I ain't going there, go play around. If I doing this, it's for the whole country and the world to see, and they have to raise the bar. As I tell them, me making no joke with that. And we had to shift the guy from playing the Arthur Davis to play the bull and put this one to be Arthur Davis. He's now in grade 2, in grade 1. Playing the bull. His mother teaches. But this is the seriousness. They get there and they're good. Especially the boy who played the bull. He know the parts, he command the attention of them. You see, when I'm preparing them, I tell them, sit down, look at me, listen. And when they're not looking, I don't get mad. Because I want them to come out on top. You understand me? And make sure somebody there with them that they could. Newtown School, we brought back the all-time cakewalk. I've been up, if you see me training them, I go right down on the ground with them. I tell them, you are younger than me, go down there. And they are so organized. They practice out on the pasture. I went into Sol and I asked Sol to sponsor them. They wrote to the head teacher, they got the communication going. So it's just a matter of getting through the COVID there, but we hope that everything will go well. We have the cakewalk bringing back the Uncle Sam, the millionaires, the butlers. We have identified the children and they're proud. What are you playing? Millionaire, Soul Sailor, Uncle Sam, John Bull, the character, and then you show them the dance, teach them the lancers, the Virginia reel, and the clowns. Some of them are clowns, mostly girls. You teach them the execution, the walk with me, speaker when I'm going to there. Very serious, because if I'm doing this, I'm not doing it halfway. You understand? Money and all, I want to do it from in here, because I think it's and the cultural department and culture generally you are dealing with. No more playing around. And with this incident that just took place now, I am more serious than ever. We have the maypole in Sandy Point, and it's good because we borrowed the pole for Newtown School. They had a thing up there. Then we also had it for the horticultural department for the botanical garden of St. Peter's. They had a thing up there. I trained them every Wednesday. So we brought back the pole. I took it down to school the other morning. And then as you got there, the excitement, everybody, oh, boy, you just say you're dead, you know, that kind of thing. So it gives you the kind of impetus, and it shows you that you're being loved by so many persons. That's the real thing coming out of this thing. And it give you that sting to drive and put more effort into what you're doing. The mock jumbies, I told Mr. Mills that is a problem in terms of indisciplinary thing and so. But there's a little problem which is there, and I told Mr. Troy that you have to find ways and means of solving it, because you can't let down the mock jumbies. Some of them held on to the sticks and the clothing, and I told him in something where he can have to put a solid thing behind it and go and get that on the road. The Makajumbi is important. We have to get them there. Those who have sticks and those who have the clothes, please to bring them back in and get it solved out. It's a little problem there. I know the problem. We won't discuss that on the radio. But that need to, through the permanent secretary, and so that need to put and get going, because the Makajumbi can, and the disciplinary part of it must be maintained.
Well, let me talk about you for a minute then. What you're describing is a serious effort, and I mean we have to commend you for all these years of doing this. However, I have to ask you, how much support are you getting, or is there any help and looking at the future? Because you, more than likely, I mean, I'm sure you can remember, and we all remember the Basil Henderson to you.
Yeah.
What happens beyond that?
With the aquatic sports.
Right.
Yeah. Well, that is a big thing going on right now, because 2 years now I couldn't do anything because of the COVID. Next year is going to be 65 years.
Right.
And one of the things I want to do is to do something heavy. I'm concentrating on my book now. At night, sometimes 3 o'clock in the morning, 4 o'clock, is thousands and thousands of pictures, putting them in place and sorting out over 5,000 pictures and different things. So much of things as to how it all began, how the old time pier was, the type of things, you know, and it's a lot of stories of interest which I have, and some that nights you know, while you're watching TV and so you're home there and you're sorting and packing in boxes and labeling, have some real good boxes. So it's a lot of work is being done. So the book will be definitely done at all costs. I'm looking at 2,000 copies or so. The same Roger who died, that's another story. Roger is a personal friend of mine. While I want to give my condolences to the family, he was a personal friend of mine. And the string band will be playing to the funeral. Already make that and we bury it. But the thing is that the commitment, the dedication, the application, the inspiration, and the motivation is always there. And if you don't have that charismatic and the approach to things, nothing will happen.
But have you identified any person or persons that could carry on the Zach Nisbet effort?
It will come, because I have a friend in mind, a lady, and who will be close to me. No, but
somebody helping you now?
Yeah,
Okay.
no, with him. Okay, I just came from Dr. Candid this morning. Miss Buddy decided she want me. I've been teaching them the masquerade dancing, mostly girls.
Right.
I spoke to them up to, it was going on, but I said, before I come up here, I said, this is closest to the Z. I said, I don't want to be late. And I came up here since about 10 past 10 or 10 o'clock, because I wanted to be early. Last time I remember I was at while I'm on this, and I tell Miss Buddy that I'm going up here. But the thing is, I have with me those live in the village, and I said, well, when I'm training them, I taught them the dances, 2 or 3 of the dances so far. Those will be there to assist, and if any going out on the road, when I have other things to do, he will be able to carry the load. Teach him all sort of things, how to deal with them, speak to them, that kind of way.
Right.
Those has his own style, but nothing too. Better to get somebody of that nature than to get somebody who ain't got the time and who ain't got the dedication and the kind of thing, and the children are into it. Trust me. I spoke to them. So Miss Buddy is seeking some sponsorship. I told her who to go to, and I'll be backing it up. She mentioned my name involved in it. But the thing is that the nigger business, that's in Tyrrell Williams, we had big persons in it, and it didn't work out too well. Because when nigger business is coolie, and those, just the other day a guy died who used to act with coolie and play in the band. I did a tribute at the funeral in the Moravian church, and I said to them like this, the thing like that is coming because I have all the clothes, I take up all the clothes, and I told the head teacher there that we're going to grade 2. We ain't going to no more big people, because what they want is, when you're going out there to perform, They want you to bring the stories to them. That I said, no. You have little things that happen in the homes. A parent beating a son because he maybe steal she fish out she kick them kind of thing.
Yeah.
You have to put your own creativity and bring out the thing. And I'm looking for that from them when I meet with them.
Okay. Hold that thought. We're going to take a quick break, Zach.
Yes.
And we'll come back on the other side and we continue this discussion.
Yeah.
Showtime shopping quarters. We got all the things you want. So many ways to shop. You can pick up curbside. Showtime shopping quarters. All the appliances, electronics, and furniture you like. Showtime. Showtime. We got it. Just what you need. Yeah, Quartz got it.
All right, good day again. Welcome back to Frank and Candid on this good Monday morning. I have the doctor himself, Doctor of Culture, in studio with me, and we talking about all things cultural here on St. Kitts, St. Kitts and Nevis actually. And as we move forward to this year's celebration of Carnival and Christmas, 50th anniversary of National Carnival, and one of the things we talk about so much, and that's why Zach is here to help us understand what's going on and the plans, is the folklore that sometimes a lot of us complain that is missing or seem to be dying sometimes. But Zach Nisbet is one of those people who are trying to keep that alive and doing an excellent job at that, and sometimes wonder how he manages. So let's get back into the conversation. But if you have a question for Zach, feel free to call us too. We could entertain that question. You may have something you want to bring out. 465-2555 and 718-577-2916. Let's go back to Zach. And you were talking about your helper, Deuce, and that is the point I'm trying to make.
Even in Newtown School, there's a lady who's into culture. She's from St. Peter's.
Okay.
And when I went there last, I said to them, I want somebody, if I'm not there, and she started dancing. She danced with us.
Okay.
She's into the dance. So, and then she's reading following the.
Okay. Well, let's see what this caller has. Maybe this caller may have a question for you, Zach. Yes.
Hey, good morning, Mr. Nayat.
Good morning.
This is Kashrai Tweed.
Yes.
It's like something that kind of already this year, you know. I hear him talking about 50th year Sugar Mass. I put on a clown suit 1917, you know. That was the last year Christmas, you know. I put clown on a lollops, you know. I see a kind of thing take place after lollops demise and all kind of things take place. Man, I'm in studio with them talking all kind of things. They turn off, left the clown troop to dead. As I hear me hand here, what I got for the opening of Carnival 2003, 2004, for bringing back the clown troop and the streets of Bastille. But it got a set of things going on. Some nastiness, real nastiness. Now tell Mr. Myers. They went to Beach Challenge School. They never knew that I was coming up there. Miss Hazel lived in King Street with me, but she never knew I was coming up there. I heard Beach Challenge School would be having a clown troupe for Kiddies Carnival. I heard it on the radio. I tell myself, let me just see what they look like. And reaching up there, nobody up there teaching them. It's like they another foot from the elbow. Due to the fact that Miss Hazel knew me, living in King Street, and she knew I played clown, and I got involved right there and then that said day. Mr. Myers, I'm conversating with you, and I want you to answer me this question that I'm going to ask you. I went demonstrating to the children how to dance on the ball of the feet. They was not getting it. I showed them how to dance on the ball of the feet. They was not getting it. Mr. Nyas, I knelt down. Hell, I cannot recall if it was a boy or a girl. I wasn't seeing no gender. If you understand what I'm speaking of. Because it was kind of late coming on to Kiddit's Carnival. I tell them, lift up the toes off the ground. And you know, tell the child to lift the toes off the ground, and then I lift the heel. And lifting the heel, I tell them that's the ball of your feet. You understand what I just said?
Yeah.
Is that sexual abuse?
No.
I'm asked, I gotta tell them, make them comment there, just so I tell them, I'm gonna ask you a question afterwards, you know. Is that sexual abuse?
Well, I'm not a legal person. I'm getting into that.
No,
you have a question for Zach? You have a question for Zach Nisbet?
Listen to me out, right?
You have a question for Zach Nisbet?
Going on with the clown troop, right? Because of the culture.
You don't have a question? Okay, let's go to the next caller. Good morning. Welcome to Frank and Candid. Okay, we don't have that call? Okay. All right. Zach, continue.
Yes, so I was saying that we have a clown troop in Tabernacle, which is okay. And as I indicated, the cakewalk is comprised of Lancers, Virginia Reel and all that. And we are looking good at Newtown. Trust me, you need to come there one the time when we're practicing on Wednesday afternoons. You understand me? And you see the discipline and so within that. Now, the other thing is we have the string band. Now, the last workshop I had, we have a new set of people. The new wave we have is some girls and boys play. We emphasize a lot on the banjo this year, and grade 2, grade 3, and the way they're playing the banjo. A little boy from grade 1, grade 3, a girl from grade 2. One of Kenneth Samuel's granddaughter. Her mother is Mem. She can sing. So the girls can sing and play. One playing the banjo, one playing the quattro, and she can play banjo as well. A little boy from Varchilds, he plays the banjo good. The tutor this year we had was Crusoe from Old Road. But when we're going out to play, we're going out with Jules. Jules is a guitarist from Debe. And he will be accompanying us all the time, so at least we have a good background and the guitar. We're going to, in fact, for Roger's funeral, we'll be playing. So we'll have afternoon where they practice, and then I've already spoken to the teachers, so whenever is the funeral, we will get off to go.
All right. Let's see what this caller has to say. Okay.
Yeah, but the thing is...
Good morning, caller. Go ahead.
Good morning, Mr. Nair.
Good morning.
Mr. Nisbet, Zach Nisbet.
Yes, good morning.
Morning to you.
Good morning.
Thank God for life.
Thank God for more than life. I'm stronger than ever.
This is Lulu.
Okay, oh my goodness.
Remember,
yes.
I was there when you had when you reach up there by Buckley's, I was one person who was helping around with children and what you were doing.
Oh yes, yes,
presentation.
Yes.
I want to thank you for your dedication,
yes,
your work and your service,
yeah,
to all the schools and the young people. And talking about that, I was hearing that same thing too.
Yeah.
But I just got to wait. I ain't going to the and say no sympathy with nobody who me or that. But when you look at it, you know, we had some serious deaths. Well, as you're talking about Roger was my friend too.
Oh, Roger was by far.
Yeah, he was everybody in the work with my son. They said they're right. And to say sympathy reaching to his family too.
Yes.
Sudden death. And also the gentleman who used to work in the park, so John and the boy.
Yes.
So when we hear this thing, we got to wait before we could say anything. Because, you know, they were saying granddad too, sometimes granddad and buried.
Yes, I remember
that. But it's Jamaica, but, you know, we still got to wait and know, well, what's going on first before we could spread those kind of news. But I might say, we'll hear for the morning, this morning with Mr. Johnson. Yeah. And something, but I ain't going into that. Yes, I just want to say thanks to you. Happy to see you watching you on the TV. Look like a young man.
Yes.
Nice and good. So I just want to pray that God will continue to give you strength and blessings and guidance and all of us, and you continue.
I am 10 times stronger now.
Yeah. Thank you.
And sorry, quickly, in the case of Roger, I am
Speak to Mr. Nice.
Yes, go ahead, caller.
Huh?
Go ahead, caller. You got your radio on. Turn it off for me.
Mr. Nice.
Turn your equipment off first, please.
Okay, it's off.
Okay, great. Go ahead.
Mr. Nice.
Go ahead, caller. You're live. You're live, caller. Go ahead.
Okay, Mr. Nice. The guy that you're talking to, he was saying something about aquatic sports.
Yeah.
And he didn't get a chance to say nothing.
You got a question for
I
him?
want to ask him if he knows Stanley Franks.
Yes.
Well, Stanley Franks, I'm calling you from New York. This is Sonny Boy. Stanley Franks used to be the official over aquatic sports when I was young. I don't know how old he is, but ask him if you ever hear about a guy named Sonny Boy.
Sonny Boy.
From Irish Town.
Yes.
Dumpling is my sister.
I have your picture Dumpling gave me to put in my book. It's two brothers of you all?
Yeah.
Yes, I have the two pictures to put in the book.
Okay, well,
Dumpling gave me those two pictures, yes.
It's sacred.
Sonny Boy and some other names she mentioned.
Because there was a guy named Fitzroy Matthew who worked for ZAZ.
Yes.
And he did an expose on the history of St. Kitts, and he had been there.
Yeah, it's over 5,000 pictures. I have bringing them down now, sorting them out, putting them, I have them on videotapes, I have them on what you call it, on DVDs and everything. I've been looking back at them, looking good, nice. So I'm working.
Okay, when you get them going,
yes.
I'm gonna send some money for my sister to get me a copy of what all the things you have.
Yeah, it will be 40 US or
my information and stuff like that.
A lot of stuff will be in it. Trust me.
Okay, and I appreciate it. And tell Mr. Myers that when I was talking to them guys about Port Zante, I wasn't lying. That was in the 90s. And I'm born in St. Kitts. I know the history of my country.
Yes.
And the guys then were laughing at me like I'm stupid, but I'm not. Okay, thank you, Mr. Nice.
Okay, thank you.
While I'm on that quickly, one of the things I want to do for the 65th anniversary, as I indicated, was to put a statue of Mr. Basil Henderson down to the end, facing CNC supermarket. I've already seen this spot. I was to send a letter in to the person responsible for that and carbon copy to the Attorney General and the Prime Minister. And I went to a guy they call Val Brown in Deep Bay. Val Brown is the best carver we have in St. Kitts over the years. He carved some things on the golden lemon tree, some heads and so, real, and other things, snake and so. I have the pictures of them. And I approached him. But he said what happened, one of his eyes bad, the other one is glaucoma. So he won't be able, but he wanted to get it done, because I know, I have the picture, it's a statue picture like, right there by the little spot, when you're coming out a little dot area there, right there. But then since he can't get it done, I went to, he said his friend Rosie is sick as well, who he thought, I went to Carl Hewlett. But he's very busy. So I'm going to get some sort of thing put up there. If I can't get it in wood, I'm going to put it in metal or put it in boards so long until we get a proper thing done. Because most likely the money is from the, this is the picture of Basil. This is what I want put up there. This is something good, and I'm determined to get something go up there, right there with a little bottom with a little something saying, we're going to make sure this happens, trying to get a banquet going where present the book and everything. But all in all, it's going to be, and try to honor some of the persons who have paid respect and gave their monies and so over the years. It has been overwhelming, and it's because of the transparency and so, because you'll notice when the people give whatever they can. I'm always on the radio, especially on Mick show. And while talking about Mick, the other night Mick was on radio Tuesday night and we spoke. And he wanted me on the radio, so he kept saying, I have a surprise for them tonight, I have a surprise. But my brother and my sister gave me a new phone, iPhone, and it's complicated. Couldn't get it open. So I dropped sleep the night. So I want to apologize to him because he wanted me from 9 o'clock onward. But here I am today, and Mr. Nias, and I'm so appreciative of this, to let the whole world know that I'm stronger than ever. I am not dead. Nothing happened to me. I'm fit as a fiddle. I'm in good. I'm not saying things don't happen to people. But there is a friend of mine who passed away by the name of Doc of St. Peter's. His bands. He used to drive the ambulance, and he also worked what you call diamond security. He wear glasses, some heavy glasses. He lives up New Road. And I think they found him in his house today. But people got to learn to, when things happen, you ask questions and you make sure you have the right thing before you just fling it all over the wall. But I am glad people called from England, the States, and the response was, I can recall Al Clark's son. I think he worked at the Development Bank. I forget his name. When I went in line one day, everybody in there was, they're feeling happy, they see me. And he said, boy, look, he and the others in there said, don't take it lightly because it shows that the people love you. They have a love. When I reached down St. Paul's School, the children were running, coming down the road, Mr. Nisbet, how they say you're dead, You go in mud in your school, the same thing, the teachers. One fella, the guy that knocked the kettle drum, he said a lady asked him, she said like this, wait, you ain't no good, how come you ain't gone to your friend, you ain't went to your friend's funeral? That's me. So he said friend funeral, the man in good shape. So it was something to remember.
Unfortunately, Zach, time runs. The clock is running, and we gotta go. But before we go, wrap up for us. Any thoughts? Tell us about what big plans for Carnival 50.
The cultural department, I am not going to let them down, and I am going to put my foot bigger and better this year to make sure that things happen for them. I am not going to waste, because a dead man come back alive, you come back with fire. And I'm going to make sure that things work well. The sponsors out there, we want you to come on board, to assist with whatever necessary so that we can get the sports, the banners, everything. We want to have that. And I vow to dedicate my whole life, and I want the people to know that I have a museum at Buckley's. On Saturdays and Sundays in particular you can come, because it's too much history inside there. The whole of St. Kitts built in there. The Road to Independence, that's the theme, and you have the steps, all the persons who took us to where we are today. And I am overwhelmed with the response and the ordinary people who come to my rescue, who came to see me, who gave me words of encouragement, both here and abroad. I went into Benjack's one day, and from the time I went into Benjack's, quickly, Benjack said, go straight down in the fridge and take a drink of your choice. And Benjack's was on the phone talking to a friend of mine from Newton. The same thing they were speaking about. And the person said they're glad to hear my voice. And this is what has been happening. So it showed the love, the dedication, the respect, and it gives me the impetus to go out there and dominate and do things that is being beneficial to St. Kitts and the whole day, not for me, for St. Kitts in general.
All right. And
to thank ZIZ TV and radio, they have been, oh my, you can't ask for more from them. Jason and the whole bunch, Vic Galloway. And you, Mr. I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for your contribution.
Anytime, Zach. For the culture, anything for the culture.
Yes.
And for you out there, keep supporting the culture. Zach needs your support. Any support you can give him that keeps this culture alive, please do so. Thank you, Zach, for coming in and sharing with us your ideas and plans for our culture going forward. And we look forward to a great carnival.
Oh, yes.
With great activities. I'm Tony Nice. Thank you all for joining me. And we will be back tomorrow, if it is to be, with much more right here on Frank and Candid. Go out and have a great rest of the day.
Yes.